Thank you all for joining the program. I'm here with author and magician Penn Gillette. Penn, we're talking today about your work with Vera simulators?
Back in the 90s, Janet Reno, who was
Attorney
General for
the United States.
President Bill Clinton. Remember the Waco thing? That was Janet Reno.
There was an attack on the compound?
Yeah. Well, she was very anti-video game, as was Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Arnold Schwarzenegger and, your dad, everybody. So she gave a speech where she said that they should have video games that dealt with regular jobs, prepare people for the workplace. So her idea for video games was that the video games would be educational. Now by educational, what Janet Reno means is making you a proletariat, getting you as a worker. And she said instead of, simulators that we usually have, like tanks and planes and race cars and submarines and hedgehogs, they would get you ready for a real job. So she stated this, and I was listening with Eddie Gorodetsky, who writes on situation comedies. He writes on 2.5 Men, and he writes on, Mom is his show. He created that show, and we're on Letterman and Saturday Night Live, and also was writing with us on this video game called Smoke and Mirrors. And Eddie said that we both heard the Janet Reno speech together. We were laughing about how stupid it was. And Eddie said, well, let's do what she wants us to do. So Eddie said the idea desert bus, and then we brainstormed on it. And the idea was for Janet Reno, we would give you a chance to actually learn what it would be like to drive a bus 360 miles from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada. 45 miles per hour maximum speed. It takes 8 hours to drive it if you do it right. And there's a little bit of a pull to the right. It's not glamorous, it's not pretty, it's not exciting. It's real. And we put this out, and I think a bug hits the windshield at one point, like 4 hours in. You just drive, and it pulls to the right. And if you go off the road, it just overheats, and then you get towed back in real time. And you get 1 point for doing an 8-hour shift. So mind-numbingly real. I should also point out that you can open and close the door of the bus, but no one's in any of the bus stops. You can't get on. No one gets on. No one gets off. You just drive the bus. So Randy Pitchford at Gearbox. Well, first of all, Desert Bus never came out.
It was created but never distributed?
That's right, never came out. I think the company that put out Desert Bus, there was a market correction and they went out of business.
So how is it possible that it is a known entity being recreated for this project?
Well, let me tell you. Reason is that it was bootlegged. It came out and it got very popular in its bootleg form. People had leaked and they started putting it on different platforms. And this group of Canadians started a thing called Desert Bus for Hope. And they raised money for Child's Play, which
It's a charity.
That buys video games for children in hospitals for a long time. And they started driving Desert Bus for charity for 50 hours at a time, just racking up those points. They got like 5, 6, 7 points, amazing numbers. And we would send them pizzas and stuff. And Randy Pitchford heard about that and wanted to put out Desert Bus 2.0. VR version. He wanted full VR. So he bought the bus. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this, they're going to be using it on the bus. So this will be the first thing you'll hear on your radio. And they bought the bus.
That's exciting.
And they scanned it. And if you are listening to this on the bus now, you've been going, 5, 10 minutes? Pretty much 8 hours still to go. Radio is not going to get that good a reception. Eddie also had other ideas that we turned down for his
Part of these tarot simulators?
Yeah, personally. He wanted to do toll collector.
Mm-hmm.
You do an 8-hour shift as a toll collector. Portrait sitter, which I thought was a really good one. You sit, have your portrait drawn, and bird watcher. Which I rejected Birdwatcher as being way too interesting. You don't make money bird watching, you know.
No.
So 360 miles, you probably got now, the speed you're going, you probably got 355 miles to go. You'll be driving a little bit. And we got it really accurate.
Do you think you will accomplish Janet Reno's suggestion?
Well, the question is, someone who does Desert Bus, would they then be prepared to drive a Desert Bus? No. Much like when you play any of these games she doesn't like, you're not qualified to use a weapon. You don't know how to load a gun, or you're hitting buttons. That's not the way guns run. You know how guns run?
I've never fired a weapon.
You have to load them and stuff. So you don't know how to do any of the stuff you're seeing in a video game. You don't really know how to do it. I don't know. Do you think if someone does a simulator on an airplane, that if you're flying in a commercial airliner and the pilot goes unconscious, you can take over? I think there's a Flight of the Phoenix is a movie where they're trying to get out of the place and they built an airplane and